Hey there, welcome to another video. I hope you're all doing well. Today, let's talk about Venus. How Venus will influence your love, your experiences in relationship and marriage, and also what kind of past life karma you hold with respect to love and connections. So a few months ago, we did one video where we decoded the Venus as per the Saptarishi Nadi, 4 houses away from Venus, and how it determined the happiness in your connection and marriage. Today, there's one more concept coming through the Saptarishi Nadi, and that is who is the dispositor of Venus, in which sign Venus is placed, and who is the dispositor of Venus, where it is placed. So suppose Venus is in Virgo, so the Venus sign placement is Virgo, and Mercury, the planetary ruler of Virgo, becomes the dispositor. And then we have to see how the Mercury is placed, in which house it's placed. So today, first, let's look into the sign of Venus and what does it represents in your love life, in marriage, and the past life karma with respect to love. And then in the next video, we'll talk about how the dispositor and its placement in different houses will impact your connection. So let's get started. And before we talk about each and every sign, it's important to remember where Venus is placed, the houses in the Rashi and the Vamsha, where the dispositor of Venus is placed in the Rashi and the Vamsha both, the nakshatra of the Venus, the house placement of Venus in the Rashi, in the Vamsha, even in the D7. So there's a lot to see before you reach to the final conclusion. Alright, let's get started. With Venus in the sign of Aries, that is a sign of Mars, it brings a lot of passion and attraction in your journey when it comes to love and marriage. Love happens very quickly. People tend to fall for you very quickly. They're very attracted to your personality, your beauty, your appearance. Love becomes appearance based, how you look. And maybe it is also an internal narrative that I have to look my best. I have to look very nice in order to be loved. And I think that is something which needs to be healed in your life. That concept, that mindset that I must look good. I must look in a certain way. Then only I will deserve love. That needs to go away. And here Venus is in the sign of Mars. So see how Mars is placed, in which sign it is, in which house it is placed. That also defines how your individuality, how your personality deeply impacts the connection. But you will draw the attention of many people. People are very quickly attracted to you, how you look, how you say things, and overall your personality is very attractive. So love happens very quickly. You may attract many connections in this life very quickly, but they go away very quickly as well. There is no stability in love. Even in marriage, there's a clash of the personalities, the individuality. Aries is individuality. So in the marriage, the partner you may attract, there's great passion, there's great chemistry, there's great intimacy as well. But as the Venus is in the sign of Mars, that to Aries, it shows you're attracting someone in love whose choices, whose decisions, perspective matters the most. A spouse, a person who is not focusing on your perspective, your needs. The physical needs are more important for this person. The intimacy is important. What you have to offer, the stability, the money, whatever you have to offer with respect to the physical things in life, this person greatly depends on that. So here the long term duration of the connection is impacted, the longevity is being deeply impacted, because the individuality of you and your person kind of challenges each other. And the very past life theme with respect to love and marriage is that there's a lot of attraction, but lack of commitment, a lack of, completing the love story, completing the union in a good way. So there's a lot of attraction, passion, because definitely there's something which is not being fulfilled, something is incomplete. So that's why there's a lot of passion, but it's unfulfilled, because there's a struggle of understanding each other's individual needs over here. Venus in its own sign, that is Taurus, and actually it's a very good placement. It does show a good karma with respect to love. It does show your dedication and your love, your respect towards your partner. I think you have earned this good karma because of your love, because of your affection, because of how you took care of this person. So, Venus in Taurus brings a lot of stability. Of course, if Venus is retrograde, or it's with a malefic, or it gets an aspect of a malefic, things do change over here. So if Venus alone in Taurus, it is a good placement. It shows you as a soul, as a person, took care of your loved ones, your partner. That is the karma, very strong past life karma. And it blesses you with a lot of beauty in this life with respect to stability, your aesthetics, your beauty. So there's a lot of richness in your life in general. And the person who may come into your life will add more happiness, more joy in your journey. With Venus in Taurus, what is the struggle? The struggle is, even though it's in its own sign, it shows that you have to give your love, your connection some time. It will take some time to build something important with your spouse. Here, the love is not just based on beauty. The love may initiate with beauty, how you see a safe home in the other person. The partner you will attract, that person sees a home in you. That person definitely sees money as well, how secure you are. But there's a lot about growth which comes with time in this connection, to know about family values, to live together as a family, that there's a karma of fulfilling that. So the very theme of marriage is about sharing not just love and respect, but wealth, some kind of financial responsibilities, family responsibilities, and also a great focus on even children having a home together. So it's about not just having the good things together, but to enjoy the benefits of those things. So Venus in Taurus brings love, but also it shows you are very attractive. You attract people's attention. You easily attract people's affection as well. But if the Venus is not well placed, maybe it's in a difficult house, or it gets afflicted by some malefic, even the nakshatra of Venus, it shows that, okay, people are looking at you with love and they want love from you, but are they capable of loving you back in the same way? So that is the struggle. If Venus gets afflicted in some way, then there is imbalance in the give and take of connections. So do see how Venus is placed in the in your Navamsha as well, in the D7 as well. So that will also be important. Venus in Gemini sign. Venus over here in the sign of Mercury. So definitely, before we even talk about it, see how your Mercury is placed. Is it debilitated? Is it exalted? Is it together with the Venus itself in Gemini? In which house it's placed? Mercury will show the depth of the connection, how open the person is to communicate with you, and in which house it is placed. That is so important. So, Venus in the sign of Gemini talks about uh, people falling in love with you because of your communication, how you talk, how you make them laugh, how you make them happy, the way you say things. Something about you is magical. The way you speak, the way you smile. So people are very drawn towards your words and your appearance as well. More than appearance, I feel it's how you smile, how you talk. That is very important. So you may attract multiple romantic connections in this journey from a very, very young age, because Gemini is a very young energy, significant romantic connections from a very young age. And of course, they are not long lasting. Mercury is not about long lasting things, but Mercury here brings exposure, learning about the world, learning about different people. So every romantic connection brings some kind of learning, some kind of knowledge about the world. And the person you may attract in this journey might be younger, maybe looks way younger than his or her age, and someone who is very dedicated towards talking to you. This person would love to talk with you, love to share his or her experiences with you. That is the true essence of love here, to talk, to be understood. That is the very essence of love here. But also someone who changes very quickly, someone whose decisions may change very quickly, emotions may change very quickly, because here the real struggle is to have great depth of the connection, to reach to some kind of mental and emotional depth. So what happens, even for you, sometimes you may lose your interest, you may lose your focus in the connection because of some kind of mistake your partner may do, and you may completely lose your mind over here. This happens in marriage, especially if Venus is in Gemini. It shows time to time lack of attention in the connection, or it is about getting triggered on very small things what your partner said, and you lose your depth over here. And same happens for this person. So I think it shows a karma, a past life journey, where the soul is learning to create trust in the relationship, working towards clarity, working towards clear communication and understanding. Something which was not said, something which was not expressed, maybe something you wanted to know from your person. So it's about opening up to each other and be expressive, be a great friend in the connection. Venus in the sign of Cancer, which belongs to the moon. Over here, Venus is in the sign of moon. So number one, do see in which house your Venus is placed. And number two, most important, how the moon is placed, whether it's exalted, whether it's debilitated, the nakshatra of moon, the house placement, what the moon is doing in Navamsha. So moon becomes the center of love and union. Venus in Cancer is the most sensitive placement out of all the Venus placements. Here, everything which happens in love, in connections, in family life, deeply touches you, impacts your thinking. So, firstly, your appearance is very beautiful, very moon-like. Not just the appearance is absolutely delightful and beautiful, but your aura is very mother-like. You have the motherly love, the very nourishing love which you give. You will be overprotective in your connections, but you also expect a lot emotionally. And that is where the things may get difficult over here. The emotional expectations are not being reciprocated. Even if the moon is okay, well placed, even then also not all emotional needs are fulfilled. And you're equally sensitive, just like your partner. And your partner is very emotional in nature. The person, the spouse you may attract, is very emotional. You are very sensitive. You may get hurt very easily from this person. If this person is nice to you, you will be very happy instantly. But someone who is very emotionally demanding, that kind of a partner you may attract. And if the moon is not well placed, even your partner's emotional demands are not right. Almost it's some kind of injustice if the other person wants you to tolerate pain, saying, okay, this is what love is from my side, you will tolerate even that. So there is a karma of learning not to tolerate any kind of injustice, emotional pain given to you in love. You don't have to tolerate that, and you call it as love. So emotional well-being, when you are in love, when you are in a marriage, you have to take care of it. The person who will come into your life in love and marriage, emotionally demanding in nature, and maybe this person even project his emotional struggles on you. So you have to choose a very healthy connection. If something is not right emotionally, you have to really get rid of that. So marriage over here is based on creating security. There is a karma here to be loved in the right way. It shows that with respect to love, you have always been giving. You have always been giving your best in the connections, in the marriage. And now the person who comes into your life really have to give you back that love. Someone who needs to give you protection and the home you truly deserve. Venus in the Leo Rashi, Leo sign. So over here, Venus is in the sign of Sun, and Sun, you have to see where it is placed, the house placement, the sign placement, how the Sun is placed in the Navamsha as well. Just like Venus in Cancer, Venus in Leo is also sensitive. And Venus in Cancer was all about emotionally sensitive. The emotions were everything. But with the Venus in Leo, it's the identity which is getting impacted. Venus in Leo shows a journey with respect to love, where you have really lost your identity when it comes to love. Losing yourself, losing your essence, just to be appreciated, just to be loved by others. This is the very karmic tone of your relationship and marriage. Either you lost yourself, your identity, to prove your worth in the connection, to be loved enough in the connection, or maybe your marriage was all about the world, how the world viewed your marriage, your union. It was more important to show your union to others rather than having anything fruitful in the connection. So Venus in Leo brings such love connections. Again, it's difficult to have long lasting connection, because firstly, you may have a fear of losing your identity in love. It may take too much from me. And secondly, it attracts a person who is successful in life. It attracts a spouse who is celebrated in the public life, someone who is very successful as well. Now that person wants the same respect from you. So there are issues with entitlement. The other person who comes into your life feels entitled to take your respect, to take your love. But are you celebrated in that connection or not? That is the issue. And for you also, your dignity, your identity is very important with respect to love. You expect someone to appreciate you. I think from there starts your love to be loved, to be appreciated, to feel special. That is something your soul craves for in the marriage, in the union. But there is serious imbalance of give and take in over here, because sun is the very energy. Sun, see, if you see it's in Libra, it debilitates. The very essence of give and take is mismanaged when it comes to sun. Sun knows how to take. Sun is the center of attraction. So here the struggle is to be the center of attraction in the relationship. Who is more important? Who is more worthy of love? And the very essence of love is lost with the Venus in Leo. So that's why there is a karma over here to let go the ego in the connection, to let go the pride, to let go the need to say who is more important here, who is more right here. To let go the ego and to have a soul-to-soul connection. Venus in Leo can be the most romantic placement. But when it comes to the strength in love, it's not. Because every issue of life, even the personal struggles, may reflect in the connection. But certainly, love over here, the way you experience love is beautiful. But the challenge is, how will you make that love long lasting? So even in the marriage, Venus in Leo shows again struggles with children, struggles with maintaining a connection which makes other people happy, even if you're happy or not. So there should be focus on your happiness more than other people, how they view your connection. Venus in the Virgo Rashi. So over here, Venus in the Virgo sign, which is a sign of Mercury, and of course Venus over here debilitates. So you have to see first how the Mercury is placed in your chart, in which sign, in which nakshatra, in which house, what Mercury is doing in even the Navamsha. That will show you the struggle in love. That will show you in which area you have to work the most when it comes to love, romance, and marriage. So, Venus in Virgo, it shows that you are, what's your love language? You look at love and connections with burden, responsibility. It's my duty to do something. I have to do this and that for the other person. There's a lot of logic applied in love. Being very rational, being very logical, being very calculative in love, rather than surrendering in love. That's where the Venus exalts in Pisces. It's dreamy. The surrender plays a very big role there. Being open to be loved. And here Venus in Virgo shows you're not very open to be loved. You're not very open to risk your happiness, your journey, to openly fall in love with anyone, trying to control, micromanage everything in love and relationships so that they will never impact you, they will never hurt you. This is something which is difficult. It shows a past life karma in love, in marriage, where you were working very hard to have a control over your relationship, your family life. It shows deep hurt, deep criticism coming from partner. So it is about having a karmic debt which needs to be resolved in this life, and that karmic debt is to help each other, to take care of each other. Love became duty in the past journey. The love was replaced by duty, and that's why in this journey you feel that love is duty. I have to be very logical. I have to protect myself from everyone. Everyone will hurt me kind of attitude comes from Venus in Virgo. It brings someone, a partner, a spouse, who is very good in his or her work. For them, the work, their profession is very important. and they have a certain philosophy in life, they have a certain plan in their mind about their life, and they're very possessive about it. They just want to live life in a certain way. And then when you deal with such a person, there's a clash of plans, there's a clash of morals. What love is for you and what love is for that person, what are your plans versus that person's plans. It may clash together, because Venus is about love, and in love, we have to change. Love changes people, and Venus in Virgo is about not open to change yourself, your life, your decisions. So the ability to compromise, that's a bit harsh word, or I would say the ability to change, to be open to changes the love bring in your journey, that is not there. So it shows a karma of living a very routine life, and in that routine life the love was lost, and now that tenderness, that love needs to come back in love. So it brings someone who may criticize you a lot. It brings a partner who wants certain things in a certain way from you. So that becomes the clash. Venus in the sign of Libra. But this is auspicious. Venus in Libra is auspicious. But I always say, do look into nakshatras, because in Libra we also have Swati. So Venus in Swati is a bit of challenge. So let's see what Venus in Libra talks about your love and marriage. It's in its own sign. So what you have to see here is in which house your Venus is placed, whether it's in conjunction with some planet or it's been aspected, how it is placed in Navamsha, Saptamsha. So that will show you the strength of marriage in love. Venus here in Libra talks about how you as a soul was always concerned about everyone should get the right things. Everyone in your family, with respect to marriage, everyone needs to have justice. Everyone needs to have some kind of stability, like working for everyone, not just for yourself, but you are a giver. Always giving people chances, always giving people help, your advice. So you are someone who always worked for others. You think a lot about others. And it shows how the past journey was in love and marriage, that you have been giving a lot, but I feel there is some kind of injustice which really happened with you. Having Venus in Libra is a soul looking for justice in love, in marriage, something left unaccomplished, something which was not respectful to you. So the person who will be attracted to you, the partner who comes into your life, this person has to offer you that justice. That person has to offer you the right respect, the right things in your life, security, love. So you will attract someone who is popular, who may have a lot of success in life and a very strong family structure. The family bonds are very strong in this person's life. And this person comes into your journey to help you to grow, not just to take from you, but to give you, to help you to be confident, to help you to have a better life. This person comes with a lot of social contacts. This person comes with a lot of growth in your journey. But yes, some justice needs to be maintained. I feel with Venus in Libra, it was always about giving, but not enough justice done to yourself. Overthinking for your partner, overthinking for your family. Even before they would say anything, you are doing everything for others. So it is about justice to self, doing justice to your very existence. And with Venus in Libra, you are someone who is very attractive. How you speak, how you walk, how you show up every single day. There's a lot of beauty and attraction. But as Libra is a contract, so there is some kind of challenge with the contract you have faced. And now over here, you are learning in this life how to take care of your contracts with respect to love and even business. You don't have to overgive yourself here. You have to maintain that equality. So equality is something which you have to learn through your love and connections. Venus in the sign of Scorpio, it's in the sign of Mars. So definitely see how Venus is placed, in which house it is placed, and in which nakshatra it is placed. And in the Navamsha also see how the Venus is placed. So Venus in Scorpio, it is about the soul working on healing with respect to love. There's a lot of I would say hurt, or you carry the wounds from the past. Venus in Scorpio shows a karmic tone with respect to the past life, where there is betrayal, or there is a very sudden ending in love and marriage. Sudden, it was unexpected, you were not prepared, and it left wounds in your heart. So that reflects as lack of trust in love, lack of opening up in relationship, not sharing your opinion, your life with someone else. There is resistance which the Scorpio brings. So definitely the Mars becomes the center here. How the Mars is placed will define the struggles, the strength of the connection. So Venus in Scorpio brings the tendency for a very deep love. Whenever you fall in love, it's very deep, it's very strong and passionate. And the person you may attract in this life romantically, you may attract certain people who may take a lot from you, and then they keep you a secret in front of the world. They don't reveal about you. They keep you as a hidden asset. They don't talk about you openly. So you have to protect yourself from this betrayal. You have to overprotect. I think there's overprotection of self, which comes as not trusting others easily. So the person you may attract, the partner you attract, is someone who is very secretive, someone who is very emotionally charged, intense, and a person who can be very obsessed with you as well. This person may not show in actions or communication, but someone who is very obsessed over you. So what happens with this kind of a person? They kind of take charge over your life. They start controlling everything in your life, your emotions, your work, your actions. It's like keeping you under control. And love deeply changes you. Marriage will deeply change you. Because Scorpio is deep transformation, rebirth like transformation. So it changes you forever. It brings that kind of transformation in your journey. And also healing is difficult with Venus over here, because you tend to be stuck to the past experiences. And with respect to love and marriage, in your union, you may see periods of intense chemistry, followed by a period of lots of challenges and emotional issues. So that's how the relationship goes with your partner. Periods of good growth, passion. There's a lot of passion. And then followed by secrecy, manipulation, emotional challenges and pain. And this is what you are learning to stand for yourself, that you don't have to depend on someone's love to stand for yourself, to be confident in life. Healing that wound is significant. Venus in Sagittarius Rashi. So over here, Venus is in the sign of Jupiter, and you have to see how the Jupiter is placed, in which sign it is placed, in which house it's placed. In the Navamsha also, see how Jupiter is placed. So Jupiter becomes the very theme of your love. It deeply impacts the nature of the person you are attracting. It deeply impacts the faith in love. So Venus in Sagittarius shows there is great degree of luck when it comes to love. You may attract people who are coming from a very strong background with respect to their traditions, their family, their education, their finances. So you attract people who are very high profile. They're very learned in their life, but they also come with very strong philosophy. They have a very strong way of working in their lives, and they want you to change. They want change, they want you to change. So love becomes a force. Marriage becomes a way of looking at the world in a different way, because the person who comes into your life changes your perspective. They come with new ideas, new philosophy, very amazing experiences. So love will change you. Love will change your perspective in this journey. There is a lot of growth and expansion which marriage and love brings, but also it shows a karma, past life experience with respect to love, where you haven't learned your lessons when it comes to love. There is reluctance to grow. There is reluctance to learn things. Like, I need to follow my philosophy. I need to follow what I feel is right, and that's it. Here, the love will change you. Here, the love will bring certain experiences in your life. You're not open to those experiences. And love requires faith. When you are falling in love, you are sharing your life with someone, you're getting married. It is about having deep faith. And having faith is not easy. Faith requires courage. So you attract people who are very successful. You attract people coming from different backgrounds, but they have very strong support system, their traditions, their family. And then you're entering into absolutely a new different world after marriage. So it requires a lot of courage and deep faith in yourself, that I can really face it, and my life is going to change. So you may resist the change. This is something which comes from the past. And it is also showing that you and your partner needs to learn a lot from each other, to support each other's life and decisions and faith. Not just blindly following your own story, but to listen to others, to open up to other people's belief system. And the same goes for your person. You may attract someone who is also very talkative, or someone who is very focused on self. A person who may talk a lot about himself or herself, about their good things, about their success, about their knowledge. So a little bit of self-absorbed energy will be there, that they love themselves, they have great success in life, they know more than anyone else. So that could be a little struggle you may face. Venus in the sign of Capricorn. So over here, Saturn becomes a very important aspect in love. Saturn plays a very strong role in love, in family life, and marriage. So definitely see how your Venus is placed in which house, and then also how Saturn is placed in the Rashi chart, the sign, the nakshatra, the house placement in the Navamsha, what Saturn is doing. And I would say also see the D60, what Saturn is doing, because that will show what exactly challenges you in love and what exactly you need to heal and change about yourself. Because Venus in sign of Saturn, like Capricorn or Aquarius, it is about very big lessons being learned with respect to love, and you have to mature, you have to develop a very strong personality, big shift in your journey when it comes to love. So Venus in Capricorn and Saturn, see how it is placed. Then let's see what it brings in your journey. See, love takes time, and that is your lesson to be learned. Love will take time. Nothing over here can happen very quickly. Any relationship, even marriage, if it is based on very quick decisions, the foundation of such connections won't last for a long period of time. The person you may attract with respect to love and marriage will be someone who is very ambitious, and not someone who is open to share his or her emotions very easily. They kind of protect their emotions. You attract someone romantically or in marriage, such people who protect themselves a lot. They will not share their information, they will not share their views very quickly. They kind of create a certain personality for the outer world, and they have a different personality when it comes to their emotions, their home and security. So you may attract people who are very mature but not emotionally open, even though they might be very emotional but not very open towards the world. They create a barrier, someone who carries boundary, and the boundary is also your lesson in this life, to have a strong boundary with respect to love. Not everyone needs to have access to you. Marriage and love over here is about not just the admiration or affection, but it is about very strong commitment, responsibility to understand each other, to take responsibilities for each other. The marriage will be long term. Again, if the foundation of love was made very quickly, instantly liking someone, instantly marrying someone, the foundation will break. Love here, marriage over here, demands a lot of strength on your part and on your partner's part as well, to fulfill the commitment, to be responsible for each other, take responsibility. And what does it shows about your past journey in love and marriage? It shows that you have faced some kind of hardship in love where your needs were being ignored. It shows that marriage or your relationship was all about responsibility, or it became some kind of a social thing, like it was a duty, a family duty, it was something about social structure, but there was lack of love, there was lack of intimacy in that connection. So duty is something very important, but also over here the strength of the connection, the emotional connection, is challenged. It's almost like the duty took over love. The family and the family's expectations became the center of love. That was the center of marriage, and everything was ignored. So the deep commitment is a challenge here. It comes with time. Love grows with time over here. And of course, you meet people who not easily emotionally connect to you, and it's hard for you as well. Venus in Aquarius Rashi. So Over here, you have to see how Saturn is placed. Over here, you also have to see how Rahu is placed. Over here, it shows dealing with many connections in this life, romantic connections, short-lived connections. It's a very different kind of a love you experience. It shows on a very core level. If I talk about your past life, if I talk about your love experiences as a soul, it is about so deeply falling in love for a certain person that it's so difficult to forget that person. It's so difficult to move past that person. So over here in this journey, Venus in Aquarius shows that you may attract multiple romantic connections, but you don't give your heart. There is fear of giving your heart to someone completely. The people you may attract, they might be very drawn towards you, your intellect, how you talk. They love your connection, the friendship, the love you offer. But they may try to overpower you. That's the very essence of Rahu. They may try to overpower you. Even if they don't have something great to give you, but they show you illusions. They show you huge things that I can offer this, I can offer that, but it's all an illusion, not the reality. So what is illusion and what is reality in love? That is where you have to work the most. And that comes with time. That comes with dedication to see things how they are before you expect anything, before you try to create stories in your mind. So Venus in Aquarius makes you someone who may not quickly get involved with anyone emotionally. You have this resistance, reluctance, which comes from the past journey, where there was a tendency of overgiving. There was a tendency of losing yourself in love. Or love felt like some kind of challenge, where your love was not supported by people. Your relationship was never supported by others. So you think a lot about whether the love, the marriage will be socially accepted or not. Maybe the people may talk a lot about your love and your marriage. So you have to see how the Saturn and Rahu are placed. Venus in Aquarius Rashi talks about love, talks about marriage, where there should be something common here. The ideas, the desire, how you view your life, how your partner views the life. There should be one point which is common. The love over here is based on something you share together. And the marriage is beyond the traditions, beyond the traditional norms and what the world expects from you and your partner. It will be different. It will be also challenged because it's different from traditions. So it is equally challenged by the world, equally questioned by the world. Marrying someone who may have different roots, marrying someone of different tradition, someone who may have a very different ideology in life. And it creates a pattern of, again, even in this life, of falling in love, and then it's so difficult to forget, because that person may become some kind of a trademark, like my love should look like this, I shouldn't find next person like this only. So that person or that man or woman becomes like a point of comparing. That comparing happens with Venus in Rahu's Rashi, the Saturn's Rashi. Venus in the Pisces Rashi, the Pisces sign, and here Venus is in the sign of Jupiter. So definitely see how Jupiter is placed in which house, in which sign, in which nakshatra. In the Navamsha, also see how Jupiter is placed. That will show you the strength of connection. That will show you the principles, the ideals in the relationship. What is your ideology? What you want in love? What the other person is bringing in your life? Jupiter will show you the light. So as I mentioned, even Venus in Sagittarius part, that Venus in the sign of Jupiter always brings a person, a partner who comes with a lot of expectations. They come with their own philosophy. They have their very own way of living. And then you have to move and shift your perspective with such people. So Venus in Pisces is number one, all about your dreams. What love is to you, what love is about in your life, what you want, your expectations. So it's like wearing rose tinted glasses and viewing the world with that. There's a lot of love which you carry deep within. Here Venus is exalted. You are loving, you are giving, and you view the world in a very same way. And then of course you see the challenge, how different people come into your life and they are not like you. So you attract people who may shatter your dreams and give you a reality check. You may attract people who are like just you, dreamy, loving, but again, the stability of love, the grounding of love, giving it a strong bond, a connection, long-term connection is challenged. Venus shows a lot of desires with respect to love. You have dreams, hopelessly romantic. It attracts someone who can be very dreamy just like you, very loving just like you, but someone whose life's principles, or maybe this person's emotions, are not grounded enough. This person's ability to give you the reality, the real things in life gets challenged. So there are a lot of expectations and dreams which do get impacted when the reality hits the relationship. So the person you may attract, the partner who may come into your life, will be someone who may carry great empathy, but someone who is not very stable in decision making, someone who can take actions and responsibility in a great manner. So that is a difficult aspect of this placement. Venus in Pisces is about you have a lot of love to give, you will be loved equally. But when it comes to the sustainability, the strength of the connection, the commitment, the responsibility, it challenges you. So you may give a lot, you may sacrifice a lot, you may take the risk as well in the connection, in the marriage. But is it worth it? That is the question. So the person who comes into your life, this person comes with love, but doesn't comes with stability. Stability is where you have to work in this relationship. There is a karmic tone over here, which is about falling in love with someone who is unavailable. Falling in love with someone who doesn't have the capacity to give you enough, to give you that grounding, the stability, the commitment. So it shows patterns of falling in love with people who are not available. And eventually you meet your very own self. Venus in Pisces on a very soul level is about truly choosing yourself, loving yourself, and then everything falls into the right place. So it brings love, it brings a partner who definitely carries love for you, but someone who doesn't want to take the risk in love, someone who may struggle with his or her decisions in life.